Hi, we are from Group 9 and our project is mobile offloading. We have created a common application for both master node and slave node. First, we are going to create a master node named master, as we can see on the right screen. Now we are going to create a slave node, as we can see on the left screen. So these are the screens for the master node and slave node. And we can see there are many options on both the screens, and even text fields for computation of matrix multiplication on the master node, that is on the right screen. Now we are going to turn on the Bluetooth on both the nodes, that is the slave node and as well as the master node. And we can see that the current battery percentage of the slave node is 73%. Now we click listen on the slave node so that the master node knows that the slave node is ready to connect. Now we connect to the slave node and we can see they are being connected, and now we send the battery status to the master from the slave node, and the master also continuously monitors the slave node for its battery and location and also uses it for computation. Now we are going to compute some matrix multiplications on both master and slave node. And now we are entering some values for a 4x4 matrices, two 4x4 matrices. And we are going to then compute the matrix multiplication on master node first, and then sending parts of the matrices to the slave node where the matrix is multiplied with the other part of the matrix, and the computation is sent back to the master where the master combines all the results received from the slave nodes. So the values have been entered, and now we compute the values at the master node. So the values of the matrix multiplication can be viewed on the master node on the right screen, and even the time consumed and the power consumed can be viewed. Now we compute a part of the matrix on the slave node, and we can see the power consumed and the results of the matrix and even the time taken to execute the operation on the slave node on the left screen. And we can see that the time consumed by the slave node is very less compared to the time consumed by the master node, and even the power consumed by the slave node is very less compared to that of the master node.
Hi, this is Vinit. I'm from Group 9 and I'm here to go over the code which we did for the mobile offloading project. So the first we have in this project we have basically three pages: the welcome page and the master page and the slave page. So in this welcome page we are giving user ability to choose whether he wants to be a master or slave. So user just needs to give a name to his master or slave and just click I am master or I am slave, such that it directs to the next page. So the first page, let's say the first page is the master page. So in this master page we fixed some constraints in order the slave to get connected to the master, which is the minimum battery level and maximum distance. We limited the minimum battery level for the slave to get connected to 25 and the maximum distance as 120. And other important things in this master node is that self permissions. After API 23, since they tagged access find location and access core location as dangerous, we are using activity compact to self check permission in the code. And next thing is a Bluetooth adapter. So sorry, Bluetooth coordinator, which listens to the turn on Bluetooth and turn off Bluetooth buttons, and allows us to turn on the Bluetooth. And the other important things in this master nodes are calculate power consumption. This method calculates the power consumed by the master node when the matrix multiplication is done on master node alone. It's a computation on master. This is a on-click listener method for computing matrix multiplication only in master. Monitor slave. We use this method as you seen in the demo. We have a monitor button. So this is the on-click listener for that button. So it basically monitors the slave for its battery levels. So in order to check whether it is meeting the minimum 25% battery level every time. Find view by all, find view by all IDs. Since it is kind of confusing to assign all the text views and edit views and buttons randomly, we use this method so that if we call this function, all the text views, buttons, edit views, etc. are assigned at once. This is a matrix transfer method. This is also one of the important method of this master node. It basically divides uh, the matrix into multiple matrices and sends it to various number of nodes. So it works on a switch case, and the count is a like number of slaves connected. If the count is 0, we use it completely calculates it on the master, and if the count is 1, it splits that into two devices, and if the case is 2, it splits into 2 or 3. Like similarly the case goes on. We did this for 3 slaves. We coded for the 3 slaves, and we can also do it for more than 3 slaves. And other important functions of this master node are distance between devices, which calculate the distance between master and slave node using latitude and longitude, and yeah, listen transfer. This listen transfer, as you seen in the demo video, whenever we click on the listen, the master node listens uh, for any available connections and display paired devices. This function allows us to shows all the available or paid devices which are connected after the connection. So this is from the master node, and going to the slave node, we have a similar listen which goes on listening whether master is trying to connect or not. And similarly we have Bluetooth on and Bluetooth off, which are set to on click listeners. Whenever this is whenever the turn on Bluetooth button or turn off Bluetooth buttons are clicked, it turns on the Bluetooth and offs accordingly. And the main part of this slave node is send battery information. Since we are sending battery information to the master node, we wrote a separate function for that. So it basically creates a JSON with its device ID, battery level, latitude and longitude, and it sends to the node whenever we click on this send battery information. This allows master node, based on this information, it allows the master node to check whether the slave has the specific battery level, and as soon as it receives the latitude and longitude values, it calculates the distance between two nodes and say it's like that the slave node is accepted. And for the matrix multiplication, we are passing two strings because we took everything in terms of strings from the text view, sorry, edit text. So we are splitting those strings into individual values, and we are computing matrix multiplication on the slave side. And this is the handler which creates the JSON and also which updates the text according to the statuses like connecting, connected, etc. So, and we also have a calculate power consumption on our slave side, which calculates the power consumed especially by the slave, and also in this slave side we are summing up the power consumption overall. That's all from the slave side. Thank you.